Hi and welcome! I'm Lorelei of Nutritionelle. I'm a graduate student currently studying to become a registered dietitian, and let's talk about fats. Fats, sometimes called lipids, are one of our three macronutrients, which include carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, so it's important that we get them in our diet. Why? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, fats are a great energy source. Fats provide 9 calories per gram, which is more than carbohydrates or protein, but we get energy from calories. We need energy. So fats are definitely a source of energy. What happens if we don't use all the energy that fats provide? Yes, we do store fats in the body, but that's not all bad news. Fats are stored in case we don't have food later on so that we can pull them back out later and use them for energy then. Fats are the major component of the membranes of all of our cells. Fats provide insulation to keep us warm. They provide cushion. Imagine walking on your feet if there was no small fat layer between the skin and the bone. Pretty painful. That's what fats are good for. Stored fats in the body also play a role in regulation of certain hormones. But do we need to consume fat? I mentioned in my video on carbohydrates, which I'll link below, that if we have excess glucose in the body, glucose is the building block of carbohydrates. If we have excess glucose, that's going to be converted to fat. So do we need to eat fat at all? Well, yes, and I'm going to give you a couple reasons why. First, some of our vitamins, which are essential, are fat soluble. So we need to eat fat so that those vitamins can get transported into our body where we can use them. Secondly, there are several fats that are essential, meaning that our bodies can't make those specific types of fat. We need to get them in our diet or we won't have them. We'll be deficient and we won't function properly. Linoleic and linolenic acid are our omega-6 and omega-3 polyunsaturated fatty acids. We can't make those in our body. We don't have the enzyme to make fats of that specific structure. So we have to get them from foods. So let's talk a little bit about the fats that we find in our foods. Most fat that we encounter in our diet comes in the form of triglycerides. Triglycerides consist of 3 fatty acid molecules, which are long chains of carbon atoms that look a little something like this. These chains of fatty acids, 3 of them, are attached on one end by a small molecule called glycerol. If the carbons in the fatty acid chains are each attached to 2 other carbons and 2 hydrogen molecules, that is a saturated fat. However, if 2 carbons are only attached to 1 hydrogen each, they will attach to each other with a double bond in between, and that is considered a point of unsaturation. The point of unsaturation is the point at which there is only 1 hydrogen connected to each of 2 carbons, and the carbons connect to each other by a double bond, which usually forms a bend in the molecule as a whole. You can kind of see how it bends at that particular point. If a fatty acid has 1 or more points of unsaturation, it is called an unsaturated fat. This is a monounsaturated fat, meaning there is just 1 point of unsaturation. This is actually oleic acid. It is an 18-carbon fatty acid. We also have polyunsaturated fats, which have more than 1 point of unsaturation. Fats and oils in our diet don't usually have exclusively one kind of fat, but one tends to dominate over another in a food. Saturated fats are commonly found in animal products such as eggs and meat and dairy, and they're also found in tropical oils like coconut and palm. Olive oil is a great example of a monounsaturated fat. Our polyunsaturated fats are where we move into our essential fats. Omega-3s and omega-6s are both essential fats that our bodies can't make, so we need to get them from our foods.
Polyunsaturated fats occur in many plant oils as well as fish, nuts, and seeds. Oils made from processed fish, nuts, and seeds will provide these essential fatty acids. However, if you can eat the whole food, there are advantages to eating whole foods that go beyond the specific nutrient you're looking for. Omega-6 fatty acids are found in many vegetable oils as well as nuts and seeds. Fatty fish is a well-known source of omega-3s, but non-animal sources include flax and chia seeds. Some foods, such as walnuts, have both.
So which fats are good for you and why? When it comes to things like disease risk, intake of high quantities of saturated fat have been linked to higher risk for things like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. So the recommendation is to not get any more than 10% of your daily calories from sources of saturated fat. Again, saturated fats are going to be found in meats, dairy, eggs, butter, coconut oil, palm oil. If you get no saturated fats in your diet, you're fine as long as you're getting some fat, but 10% should be your max. We need to ensure that we're getting our omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. And then our monounsaturated fats are also considered healthy sources of fat. So again, olives, peanuts, or oils made from these products. I wanted to briefly mention trans fats, which you may have heard of. I could do a whole video on trans fats, and if you'd like me to, please mention that in the comments section below. But suffice it to say, trans fats rarely found in nature and just not good for you at all. Eating 0% trans fats is the ideal. So I think that's the skinny on fats. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend or two. Please subscribe to my channel and hit your notifications bell so you know when more videos get posted. Once again, I'm Nutritionelle, encouraging you to eat well.